Okay, let's listen. 33, question number 33. We have to find out E0 cell. Standard electromotive force of the cell. We need to find out. It's very easy. Here all reduction potential values they gave. And if all reduction potential values they gave means then the E cell, E0 cell is equal to cathode minus anode. Cathode minus anode we need to find out. Then that is called E cell. Let's see the first one. Zinc is anode. The left side is anode, the right side is cathode. This is a cathode. If both are reduction potentials are they give. Zn plus 2 by Zn is reduction potential. Copper plus 2 by copper and Ag plus by Ag is minus 0.76, 0.34, 0.8 volts. Is what it is indicates that all are reduction potential values. So the E0, the reduction potential value of Zn plus 2 by Zn is equal to minus 0.76 volts. Then the same way the standard reduction potential value of copper plus 2 by copper is equals to 0.34 volts. The same way the E0 of Ag plus by Ag is equals to 0.8 volts. Now in this case the first cell is so always if reduction potential values they gave, then the E cell is equals to E0 cell of cathode minus anode. Cathode minus anode. What is the cathode value here they gave? Copper plus 2 by copper is 0.34 minus anode is zinc minus of minus 0.76 volts is equal to how much? Minus of minus is plus is nothing but 0.34 plus 0.76 is equal to 1.1 volts. This is the first one. Now let's see the second one. E cell. Standard electromotive force of the cell is equal to Zn2 plus by Zn salt bridge Ag plus by Ag. Here also zinc is cathode. Sorry, silver is cathode and zinc is anode. Now the E cell is equals to E0 cell of cathode minus E0 cell of anode. So cathode is silver. What is the silver value? 0.8 minus anode is zinc. Zinc value is minus of minus 0.76 volts. Then on addition both we'll get 1.56 volts. Let's see the third one. Copper is anode. The left side is anode means that oxidation takes place. Cathode means reduction takes place. Silver is a cathode. Then the E cell, electromotive force of the cell is equal to E0 of cathode minus E0 of anode. Okay, so the cathode value is, here cathode is silver Ag plus by Ag is equal to 0.8 minus copper plus 2 by copper. Copper plus 2 by copper is 0.34. Then is equal to how much? 0.46 volts will comes. Now we have to identify the order among that which have more electromotive force is present. B is more, then A, and then C. So the answer is B is more than C. Sorry, B is more than A and then C. The answer is second option. See, listen dear students, if electromotive force of the cell, E0 cell, standard electromotive force of the cell, we need to calculate by using their standard reduction potential. Sometimes reduction potentials only they give. The electrode potentials they gave only SRP, standard reduction potentials only they gave. That E0 cell is equal to cathode minus anode. E0 of cathode minus E0 of anode. both oxidation potentials they gave, then the electromotive force of the cell is equal to E0 of anode minus E0 of cathode. So anode oxidation potential, cathode reduction potential they gave, then the electromotive force of the cell is equal to oxidation electromotive force of anode plus reduction electromotive force of cathode. Means standard oxidation potential of anode plus standard reduction potential of cathode. When oxidation potential of anode and reduction potential of cathode they gave, means both we have to add, that the resultant value is electromotive force of the cell. So in this question, all reduction potentials only they gave. That's why then the electromotive force of the cell is equal to cathode minus anode. Means right hand side minus left hand side. Okay. Let's go for next question. The 34 question already we are discussed in 15th group elements. Okay, in the 15th group elements only we are discussed zinc reacts with HCl, produce hydrogen gas. In the same way, zinc reacts with hydrochloric acid also produce hydrogen gas. But the zinc reacts with HNO3, nitric acid, but does not produce hydrogen gas. Why they said? For example, HNO3 is strong oxidizing agent. Okay, already we know that HNO3 is a strong oxidizing agent. It when reacts with metal, its oxidizing nature depends on nature of metal and concentration of HNO3. Okay, the first point, when HNO3, concentrated HNO3 reacts with metal, okay, whatever the reacts with metal, HNO3 reduced into NO2, nitrogen dioxide. HNO3 is reduced into NO2, but does not liberates hydrogen gas. Reduced into NO2 because of NO3 minus reduced in preference of hydronium ion in H plus ions, or nascent hydrogens reduces NO3 minus into NO2 gas, or in when metals have more electropositive positive than hydrogen, in this case HNO3 reduced into nitrous oxide, HNO3 reduced into N2O. HNO3 is reduced into N2O. If the metal has less electropositive than hydrogen, then HNO3 reduced into NO, nitric oxide. Already these chemical properties we are discussed in 15th group elements. Let's see, for example, HNO3 reacts with zinc. When the zinc reacts with HNO3, concentrated HNO3, then what are the products? Zinc nitrate, ZnNO3 twice plus N2O, sorry, NO2 gas plus H2O. See here 4 moles, then here 2 moles of NO2 will form. and 2H2O. See here, this HNO3 is reduced into NO2 due to that formation of hydronium ions or nascent hydrogen atoms. Okay, but this does not liberates into hydrogen gas. Does not liberates into hydrogen gas, and H2 gas does not form. The same way, the zinc reacts with dilute HNO3. If dilute HNO3 is present, then it requires more amount of HNO3. Then it reacts with 10 moles of HNO3, reacts with 4 moles of zinc to forms 4 moles of zinc nitrate, 4 moles of zinc nitrate plus N2O, nitrous oxide plus here 4 to the 8 over, and here our nitrogen, and remaining 5 moles of water will forms. Because the zinc is more electropositive than hydrogen atom. So the zinc is more electropositive than hydrogen atom in diluted HNO3. In dilution of diluted HNO3 reacts with zinc metal, the HNO3 is reduced into NO2 gas, nitrous oxide. Nitrous oxide will forms. So the answer is fourth option. See, zinc reacts with all acids like H2SO4, HCl, liberates hydrogen gas, but it does not liberate hydrogen gas with HNO3 because of NO3, nitrate ion reduced into NO2 or N2O or NO. Preference in the hydronium ion. In the presence of hydronium ion, the hydronium ion reduces nitrate ion into nitrogen dioxide or nitric oxide or nitrous oxide. Does not liberate hydrogen gas. So the answer is fourth option. Okay, students, let's go for next question. See, this is the relation between, let's see that the Daniell cell. Daniell cell means zinc is anode, copper is cathode. Their free energy changes they give. Zinc, copper and copper 2 plus and Zn2 plus. See, in the solid state, their free energy changes are 0, 0 only. But the reaction delta G naught of the reaction is the delta G naught of the reaction is the free energy change. Delta G naught of Zn2 plus minus delta G naught of copper 2 plus. Then zinc value, how much they give? That is minus 154 minus 64.4 is equal to minus 218.4 kilojoules. 18.4 kilojoules per mole is equal to minus 218.4 into 10 to the power of 3 joule per mole. So by using this value, we have to find out the E0 cell. We know that the relation between delta G naught and electromotive force of the cell. Delta G naught is equals to minus NF E0 cell. Okay, then E0 cell is equals to the electromotive force, standard electromotive force of the cell is equals to delta G naught by NF minus NF. Now this is minus of minus 218.4 into 10 to the power of 3 by N value. N is in this reaction, how many electrons are involving? If the zinc lost 2 electrons and copper is accepting 2 electrons, that's when N is equal to 2. F value is 96,500 coulombs. This is on simplification. This minus of minus will become positive. On simplification, we'll get 1.31 volts. So that 1.13 is approximately nearer to the second value. Okay, so here the main important thing is electromotive force of the cell can be calculated by using delta G. So what is the relation between delta G and electromotive force of the cell? The delta G is equals to minus NFE cell, minus NFE cell. So here delta G value we need to calculate in the chemical reaction. So delta G is equals to, see, the solids standard free energy changes are 0 and the ions having, then the in the chemical reaction the delta G is equals to the delta G of products minus delta G of reactants. Product minus delta G of reactants means nothing but Zn2 plus minus copper 2 plus. Then delta G value we came. The delta G value we must have to convert it into joules, not kilojoules. Then the resultant value will comes in volts. Okay. Let's see the next question. 36th question. Okay, the electropositive character. Electropositive nature of magnesium is more than aluminum and then zinc and then copper and then silver. Okay, let it. Now this SRP value, standard reduction potential values, which having more least standard reduction potential is magnesium, more negative, then aluminum and then zinc and then hydrogen H2 and then copper and then silver. Okay, silver already we know that approximately 0.8, copper is 0.34, hydrogen is 0.0, zinc is minus 0.76, aluminum is approximately 1 point something will comes, and magnesium is minus 2 point. These negative values are present. So among that, whenever just you have to take one beaker. In a beaker, silver nitrate solution is present. Silver nitrate. In this beaker contains silver nitrate is present, AgNO3 thrice. In the silver nitrate, if they dipped copper spoon, copper metal, what will happen? They are asked. See here, we know that these are above the hydrogen in electrochemical series. In electrochemical series, above the hydrogen, the metals are more reactive. Okay, and lower SRP value metals can displace higher SRP values, and lower SRP metals can displace higher SRP metals. Higher SRP metals. Let's see according to that. Lower SRP metal means magnesium. Magnesium can displace aluminum. Okay, and zinc cannot displace aluminum because if negative value is lower negative value means more SRP value. So the lower SRP value containing metals can displace higher SRP metals. Okay, so whenever if a copper spoon or copper rod is stirred in silver nitrate solution, then what will happen? No reaction will take place. No reaction takes place. No reaction takes place because the aluminum has lower SRP value. Aluminum has a lower SRP value. or copper has more SRP value. That's why lower SRP, if copper has lower SRP value means it can displace aluminum metal from its salts. But aluminum has a lower SRP and copper has a more SRP. Lower SRP in active. So electrochemical series order is very important. In electrochemical series, the metals, what are the metals present above the hydrogen? Above the hydrogen means the metals having lower SRP value. They are very more reactive when compared to hydrogen electrode. So the metals which are having less SRP value when compared to hydrogen, those all metals are lower SRP metals. Okay, so the lower SRP values. So among that, those all are highly reactive. Among those all lower SRP values of the metals, which metal having very low SRP value, it can displace as higher SRP metals from its salt solutions, from its salts. But here copper has more SRP value compared to aluminum, and aluminum has a less SRP value. That's why the copper cannot displace aluminum from its silver nitrate solution. So the no reaction takes place. The answer is fourth one. Okay, students, understood? So once again, everyone revise. Electrochemical series is very important. Okay, let's go for next question. 37th question. Daniell cell, the electromotive force of the cell. You know that Nernst equation. According to Nernst equation, the E cell is equal to E0 cell minus 0.059 by N into log concentration of product or concentration of anode by concentration of cathode. This is also nothing but concentration of product by concentration of reactants. Okay, the Daniell cell. The Daniell cell representation is Zn by Zn plus 2 salt breeze copper plus 2 by copper. Okay, now it's Nernst equation E cell for the Daniell cell is equals to E0 cell minus 0.059 by 2 into log Zn plus 2 by copper plus 2. Okay, at that at what conditions the electromotive force of the cell will be increases? So the E cell, when the E cell will be increases, it is negative ma. If the concentration of Zn plus 2 decreases or copper plus 2 concentration increases. Here Zn plus 2 concentration decreasing means upon dilution is nothing but increasing dilution or decreasing concentration. Then that electromotive force of the cell will be increases. So the decreasing the concentration of copper sulfate concentration is decreasing means the E cell will be decreases. It's not an answer. So increasing the concentration, increasing the dilution, decreasing the concentration or increasing the dilution means the same only. This is also not correct answer. So increasing the dilution of ZnSO4 or decreasing the concentration means the second option is correct. Okay, students. So at what condition the electromotive force of the cell will be increases? Means dilution of zinc sulfate or decreasing the concentration. So the second option is correct. And another way is increasing the concentration of copper 2 plus. Here increasing the concentration of copper 2 plus, like they are not give. Decreasing the concentration is also nothing but increasing the dilution. So both third and fourth options are wrong. So the correct option is second option. Okay, let's go for next question. 38. What is the correct representation of this electrochemical cell reaction? Cell reaction they gave. Cell representation we need to write. AgCl plus H2 is converted into 2HCl plus 2 moles of Ag. If AgCl, Ag is in +1 oxidation state, here silver is 0. Means it is reduction. Reduction means it acts as a cathode. Okay, and H2. Here in H2 oxidation number is 0. In HCl oxidation number of hydrogen is +1. Then it is oxidation. Oxidation means it acts as anode. And hydrogen is non-metal electrode. Non-metal electrode. If non-metal electrodes are present in platinum, so we are using platinum electrode, inert electrode we are using. So the cell representation is platinum solid by H2 gas. Its pressure is 1 atmospheric pressure or 1 bar pressure in presence of HCl, 1 molar HCl. One molar hydrochloric acid aqueous solution, single vertical line. Then the reduction means Ag plus by Ag. 1 molar AgCl or Ag plus aqueous by Ag solid. So the answer is the 38th answer is H2. 1 molar HCl. So the answer is second option is correct. This also we can represent it like this. Platinum hyphen H2 gas by H plus ions or HCl 1 molar salt bridge by Ag plus aqueous by Ag solid. This is also correct. So according to that, the correct answer is second option. Okay, let's go for next question. 39. Among that, which of the following statements are correct? Zinc electrode is let's see that 39th question. So we have to compare which acts as anode, which acts as a cathode. Then standard reduction potential of H2 hydrogen electrode by H plus is 0.0 volts, and the standard reduction potential of H plus by H2, it is reduction, is 0.0 volts. The standard reduction potential of Zn plus 2 by Zn is minus 0.76 volts, and E0 of copper plus 2 by copper, already we know that 0.34 volts, and E0 of silver Ag plus by Ag is equal to 0.8 volts. We know that if SRP value, higher SRP value, acts as cathode. So if one is higher SRP value is acts as a cathode, another one acts as a anode. When zinc and H2, if you are compared, in which higher SRP is hydrogen, the zinc is anode and hydrogen is cathode. The first statement what they gave, when the zinc electrode is combined with the standard or normal hydrogen electrode, zinc acts as a cathode they gave. That's why it is wrong statement. Let's see the second one is, whenever combined with copper and hydrogen electrode, if you are compared, the copper has more SRP value. Zinc here low SRP value. That's why here the anode is hydrogen and copper is cathode. But here what they gave, the copper acts as a anode they gave. So it is also wrong statement. Now let's see, compare that silver and hydrogen. The silver and hydrogen, if you are compared, hydrogen is lower SRP and silver is more SRP. So the hydrogen is anode and silver metal is acts as a cathode. So in this case also, the silver is combined with silver acts as a anode they gave, but silver is a cathode. So this statement also wrong. Next one more is the standard reduction potential of Cl2 by Cl minus is, chlorine is a strong oxidizing agent, have higher SRP value, is around 1 point, its value is 1.36 volts. So automatically when compare that chlorine and hydrogen is anode and chlorine is a cathode. Now when combined with chlorine electrode, the chlorine electrode acts as a anode they gave. The chlorine electrode does not act as anode, it acts as a cathode only. So the fourth statement also wrong. So the given all statements are incorrect. So the answer is third one. All are incorrect statements. Okay students, let's see the next important questions related to Nernst equation. Nernst equation questions are very important and all are easy only. Just an Nernst equation we have to remember. Okay, let's see that 40th question. Copper sulfate rod is immersed. Copper rod is dipped in copper sulfate. Okay, so copper rod is dipped in copper sulfate means copper plus 2. It acts as anode only. It acts as a cathode always. It accepting 2 electrons is converted into copper solid. Okay, when this what they did, the concentration of copper is decreased, diluted by 10 times. Then its electromotive force of the E cell, what will happen, they asked. See the electromotive force of the cell. E cell is equals to E0 of copper plus 2 by copper minus 0.059 by N. N is equal to 2 into log concentration of product solid is 1 by the concentration of copper plus 2. Okay, that is that. Now if copper sulfate solution is diluted by 10 times, diluted by 10 times means concentration is decreased by 10 times, 1 by 10, concentration becomes 1 by 10, then the E cell is equals to E0 of copper plus 2 by copper minus 0.059 into 2 to log 1 by 10 is nothing but 10 by copper plus 2. Log 10 value is 1. Log 10 value is 1. Then let it be its concentration is equal to 1. Then log 10 value is 1. Then the E cell is equals to minus 0.059 by 2. means its E cell is decreased by 0.0295 volts. For example, let concentration of copper plus 2 is equals to 1 molar, then it becomes 1 by 10. So its E cell is equal to 1 by 10, it's log 1 equal to 0, means completely it is 0, then the E cell is equals to E0 of copper plus 2 by copper. Now here E0 of, upon dilution, the E cell is equal to E0 of copper plus 2 by copper minus 0.059 by 2 came. Means 0.059 by 2 is nothing but 0.0295 volts decreased. So the answer is decreased. Second option is correct. Okay, let's go for 41 question. The 41 question is very easy. Here see the zinc, it is anode, the copper is cathode, their standard reduction potential values they gave, then the EMF of the cell they are asked, the concentrations also they gave, the electromotive force of the cell is equal to E0 cell minus 0.059 by N into log concentration of anode, means Zn plus 2 by concentration of copper plus 2. This is the formula. Now the E cell, E0 cell is equal to cathode minus E0 of cathode minus E0 of anode minus 0.059 by N value is 2 into log concentration of Zn plus 2. Zn plus 2 is 0.0